Sup, you beautiful bastards. Hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Philip DeFranco. Welcome back to A Conversation With. And today, we're having a conversation with, actually you. So, in addition to the audio version of this podcast being available wherever all podcasts can be and should be, which, by the way, if you have us on Apple Podcasts, be sure to give us 5 stars and say something nice. It makes us feel really good and like we matter, and also other words. But where you can find us, like it takes you to whatever service you want to listen to us on, is anchor.fm/a conversation with. There's also this handy dandy thing where people can send in a voice message. And I actually, I went on Twitter and I was like, hey, if you want to say something, maybe you ask something, but you just want to speak to me and or possibly the people listening to this podcast, send something in. A lot of people went through it. I single-handedly went through every single thing. And by that, Keith, who was off camera, actually did that so that I didn't go through all of them. And so if your stuff doesn't get played, it's not me, it's Keith. That's the main reason I hire people, to do stuff and to blame things on them. But we're going to kind of go through, I've been told it is a different kind of mixture, but we are going to start off with Caleb Moore talking about actually something we covered on the show recently, as well as saying hey.
Okay, so I doubt this is anything new, and sorry, I'm sure my laptop's audio quality is absolute shit. But here's the idea, right? Ninja, right? So I'm not even a Fortnite guy. I don't know why I've got this conspiracy theory, but I'll bet Ninja left, and Twitch already was like working on this like recommending thing. Like they were already working on some kind of thing to recommend other channels on that channel, and then they were like, wait, Ninja's gone. We can basically flip the bird to him and say, hey, take this, screw you. So they rushed it through production, posted it, had it all working, and then because the software wasn't totally like worked out and all that, I'm willing to bet that that's why they had the porn stream up, and that's why it blew up in their faces. I don't know. Sup. Love your content. Thanks for creating.
Thank you, Caleb, for that nice thing at the end of your conspiracy theory. As far as if Twitch did it on purpose to be petty, I don't know. We're kind of casting intent on an entire company and or possible individuals inside of this large company and saying that they are, a representation of the entire company. I don't know if they meant to do it as a petty thing. A lot of things kind of point to it, or that they handled it very loosely and in a bad way. Ninja, of course, ditching Twitch to go to Mixer for what I imagine has to be just an amount of money that could suffocate you if it was in I don't know. To go to Mixer probably is still a very large room. And I don't know. I think, yes, Twitch could have been testing something, but it wouldn't make sense. Like if you test things, when YouTube or Google test things, they test it to like 1% of the audience, right? And granted, I think some of the numbers said that 1% of Twitch traffic was going to Ninja, so you could call it a 1% test, but obviously there's a lot more focus there. When you test things, you test it on small channels. You don't test it on the thing that everyone's focusing on. That's not a test. That just looks like an entire fucking change. So I think it was an incredibly stupid move. If you want to say that it was on purpose to kind of flip the bird to Ninja, maybe they felt slighted. Who knows? Some of the stuff that higher ups at the company were tweeting or kind of things inside of the community, it raised a question mark, but it's just stupid. It's just so, even if you dislike someone, the only time it benefits you to be petty is if you're another YouTuber and you're fine with being inside of the drama cycle. There are people that I have worked with that I felt completely fucked me over or used me or just a garbage shit person, and then when they were no longer with us, either because they left or I fired them, I don't openly talk shit about that specific person. Every now and then, in a moment, I'll subtweet. I stay away from it, but you just don't fucking do it, because if you're the bigger person, right? And I mean in views, not as a human being. I'm taking the high road. Now, if you have more views, you'll just seem like the mean bad guy, even if someone's was a piece of shit behind the scenes, because the only thing people have to react on is what they see as like this character that other people are representing in front of the camera. So I think everyone can agree Twitch massively mishandled the situation. Although I will say with the Ninja on Mixer situation, it'll be interesting because it was by the time this goes out, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks. God, I have no concept of time anymore. Just always tired, but kind of seeing where he's at after 60 days, that'll be kind of an indication of if he's, making this path that's going to lead him to even greater success. 6 months out, that's always the lead. But next question and/or statement.
Philip. Can I call you Philip?
Yes.
Your shirts are so wonderful. And I'd really like to know where you get them. Because I want to get one for my partner. Please let us know. Sincerely, Mel.
This turned into an ASMR video? That was, wait, I gotta play it again. I'm at ease.
Hey, Phil. I guess what I...
Nope, no longer at ease. Let's see.
Philip. Can I call you Philip? Your shirts are so wonderful. And I'd really like to know where you get them. Because I want to get one for my partner.
It's like ASMR and like a poem. I don't know what the structure of the poem is. It's beautiful voice. I wanna hire you to do our VO. Sorry, everyone else that works for us for VO. Where do I get my shirts? I am dressed by all of the women in my life, whether it be my wife, Brianna, or Amanda lately. Amanda's been on this American Eagle push. Brianna was on the J. Crew push. Lindsay was on that as well. I only purchase clothes that I do not make myself from Lululemon because that shit's comfy. I don't care. I know that people associate it with like yoga moms. They make a solid non-ball crushing short and some great what is it? What is it when you're not working and you get to lay down for a minute? What's that? Pajamas? It's almost pajamas. It's something like that. So those places. But my goal, we tested it with on Shop DeFranco. My goal is for us to come out with a bunch of actual dress shirts, not kind of like a summer t-shirt, like an actual. I can wear it on camera. I'm happy to wear it. Feels high quality. But whenever you're kind of dealing with stitch and sew or anything that's kind of higher quality, even after you get the initial testing, it can take 60 days. So those are the places I get it from, but be on the lookout for stuff that we're going to sell ourselves at hopefully an affordable price.
When I was younger, I worked retail, and those were probably some of the worst years of my life. I worked for this video game store that purchased, sold, and traded video games. And out of respect for my old employer, I won't tell you exactly what company it was, but yeah, like I said, it sucked. Anyway, so when I worked for GameStop, there's this guy that came in one day, and crazy eyes as soon as I saw him, and he yells across the room, "How much?" And I says, "Hello, welcome to Video Game Establishment. How can I help you?" And he says, "How much?" And then he comes closer to the counter and he pulls out this black box, and I swear it has a exposed wire coming out of it. And I said, "I don't know what that is, unfortunately, so we can't purchase it." Professional talk. And he says, "What if I bust in your ass?" And I says, "Okay, then we'll take 2 of them." And then he says, "Ah, yeah, gay," and he runs off. And I still don't know what was in the box.
Harut Solarzano also sent in a second one. Oh, wow. You might be my favorite person so far, though.
To preface this story, I'm a tall, lanky redhead that lives in Compton. I have a crazy neighbor who legit schizophrenic, legit crazy. He spits on my dog sometime when he passes by, and he yells at himself.
You live next to Brooke Houts. Right?
He spits on my dog sometime when he passes by.
All right, sorry.
And he yells at himself and all that stuff, right? One time I'm out front and I'm doing, gardening or whatever, and I see him start walking towards, the front of my house, and I think to myself, oh, okay, he's going to probably yell at me or something. So then I get ready to get spit on, and he just passes by and he goes, so I was like, oh, hey. So then the next day, same thing, I'm out front, stretching or whatever out front, and he passes by again. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Good afternoon. And he goes, Prince Harry looking ass motherfucker. And I says, oh, thanks.
What are these stories? I like that I was like, just talk to me, and Harut was like, got it. I got 2 perfectly timed 60-second stories. You gotta, Harut, if you don't submit the next time we do this, I'm gonna be severely disappointed. Thank you for sharing with the class.
Hey Phil, how you doing? I hope you're doing fantastic. I love the PDS today, and I love the PDS pretty much every day. It's molded me as a teenager into a young adult, so I appreciate that. So I was dropping this recording because I wanted your take on what TikTok has become. Because back in the day, I mean, you reported it when India took it down because TikTok had the whole user thing and they restructured the app and it was Musical.ly and it was whatever. And now it's kind of taken on this whole new life in social media. Myself, I jumped on the app about a month and a half ago. I'm a 20-year-old, so the age demo wasn't necessarily for me, but I just used it to re-upload a bunch of old Vines. And now I'm sitting on an audience of 100,000, which is fantastic because I was just re-uploading my old archive and now I get to make new stuff here and there. But I was wondering, what did you think of the how viable is TikTok for advertisers? Because now that I have an audience of 100,000, I'd love to be able to monetize that in some way, shape, or form. But I don't know how advertiser friendly an app like TikTok would be. So your thoughts?
Well, one, I think that, and I speak as someone that should be embracing it right now, I think that if you're making content anywhere right now, you should also be making it on TikTok. My main thing that I had struggled with regarding TikTok is how do we talk to an audience that young? But then I also, just in the past 2 days, I've realized that's a really stupid fucking thing to be thinking about, because it's not like I'm going to jump on TikTok and it's like I'm going to be dabbing and trying to do like any of these kind of viral trends. It would just be kind of a different version of trying to get information out there. And sure, maybe a little bit of it would be memed, but you talk to, it's kind of like when I talk to my son. He's 5 years old. I talk to him like a normal person. I don't talk like a child, or I don't talk like a baby. It's just information's information. Hopefully you can make it entertaining. I think entertainment is the key. But as far as you, one, I think it's really smart, 20 or not, or whatever fucking age, that you jumped on and used your archive. I think that's something I should probably, well, I don't know, I can do it with news, but with some of the other content. But as far as the advertising, that would be really interesting, because I don't know. I know several other YouTubers who have been paid to do TikToks, but that was to bring people over to the platform. Obviously, TikTok has ads, sometimes for things I've never heard of, sometimes actually for one of our sponsors. There, I see them over there. When I opened up the app today, they were advertising Taylor Swift's new album. So for them, seems to make sense. I don't know what the back end is for the creators. I don't know if creators are involved in any of that. But I mean, the way that you could see if your audience can monetize yourself is find some sort of CPA agreement, some sort of, I guess, rather than having to go through a sales thing, find an affiliate deal for something you like. Could be a cool shirt, could be fucking a service or whatever, and see if, the inclusion of whatever you make. I don't know how, essentially you'd be making them a commercial though. So you'd have to keep in mind that you're kind of selling yourself short to test something. But I think, you test out and see if there is a conversion. I know that conversions for YouTube have been fantastic. It's our number one thing, other than, well, along with Instagram stories. But it also comes down to not just the audience on the platform itself, but your specific audience. With how quick the attention is, I think it would be a very, very interesting test. I think that you should test this for us together, because we're in on this together, and then come back and let us know. Did it work, or did you just give someone a free spot?
Hey there, Phil, and folks over at the Rocket team. You said that we could just use this to talk to you, so I thought I would and share something great that happened to me today. For once, I finally called out for help. I've been suffering from what I believe to be depression, possibly a little bit of social anxiety for all of my adult life since I was a teenager, pretty much. And that's about 18 years now. I'm a grown-ass man still playing around with teenage depression. But yeah, I finally called out for help because I knew I couldn't handle this on my own. I hope more people would take this step. I'll always hope for others to do so. And I hope that you will keep inspiring other people to do that. Thank you for your show.
I'm gonna call you Jay because that was a big share. And Jay, I appreciate you sharing that. I think it's big to talk about it. I think I'm a little bit of your mindset where I kind of shit on myself for having problems, but you're actually taking this step to get help, which is it's the hardest thing, because you can feel all these negative things about it or feel less than, but I think it's the thing that makes us all kind of equal. The only thing that isn't equal is everyone's ability to be honest about it and share this vulnerable thing. So thank you. And I really hope that it works out for you. And then also for everyone listening, it doesn't make you any weaker. We all got problems. It doesn't matter all the other factors. It's a big unifier. Okay, let's see. This just says Apple weird.
Hello, how are you doing today? To be honest, I am a little bit surprised because for the last couple of times you've actually had a project like this made, it's been an iPhone exclusive or an Apple exclusive. So I'm wondering, is there, for full transparency, I don't know if you're going to be actually answering this, and that is, do you have a somewhat of a business contract with iPhone or with Apple, and has it expired? Because this is the first ever time when I saw anything related to you on the Android market. Just curious.
If you're talking about the apps that we've had in the past, that was based off of developers and kind of the ease of getting someone to make an iOS app rather than Android. If you're talking about any of the podcast stuff, that's probably just been laziness on our side. Luckily, Anchor kind of just Anchor is a service that we put the podcast out on, where people are sending voice messages. They kick it out to every place, so we don't have to do it one by one or focus. It's just kind of this big blast out into the world. Although for the most part, I think 50% of people listen to us still on Apple Podcasts, and then it's just kind of a little bit all over the place. But yeah, nothing exclusive. If I was getting, if I had some deal or sponsorship with Apple, I would be shouting that from the rooftops. I did a Twitter integration for Starbucks, and people were like, "Oh, it's a big deal," and I was like, "It's Twitter money. It's not YouTube money." But it is interesting because when you get to if you can say you're working with a big brand like that, your stock goes up, man. So no. Not yet. Although I've been hearing that more and more places are paying for podcast exclusivity, which I will definitely take. Apple, if you're listening, this man, he's not going to be happy if I take your money, but I will be very happy. No, I'm gonna I'm gonna keep it open. I want as many people listening to the podcast as possible. One, so I can be connected to as many individuals as possible, and also because that's how you get the better ad rates. More people, more money.
Hello, my question is, what do you hate the most about Nintendo Switch Online, and what would you want them to fix? Thank you for selecting me. I hope you guys have a great day.
Nintendo Switch Online, I think, is one of those things that I subscribe to and have never actually used. I don't really care for it. It doesn't matter to me at all. My Nintendo Switch experience in general is one, playing Fire Emblem Three Houses right now, and Mario Kart, or any game that my son can almost kind of play. The Nintendo Switch, actually, I will say, has been not the online service, but the Switch itself has been great in giving my oldest son Trey and I something to play around with. The only problem is he likes it too much, to the point that this week, every time that I have woken up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. He has woken up 5 or 10 minutes before and gone downstairs to play. And that's like a big issue that we're figuring out how to actually handle. Because I send him back up to bed. He stays up. Then I kind of want to hang out with him. So then I'm not being a great parent, but I'm being a pretty decent friend. But I should probably be focusing on being a parent. But yeah, I don't know. Main point. I really wish my son was better at Mario Kart because I'm tired of playing at 50 and 100cc, and I really want to do 150, mirror, and 200. Okay. Only like 3 of you know what the hell I'm talking about.
Hi, Phil. I'm 17, and I just wanted to know...
That's where the conversation ends, Keith. She let me know.
...your opinion on siblings and parenting. I am 17. I'm going to be a senior in high school, and my parents were thinking about having another child. And in my case, I feel like since they're working 24/7, I feel like I'd be tied down watching this hypothetical new sibling. And I was wondering if it's okay to feel those feelings. And if it does take place, should I still separate myself? Because I do want to grow independent and live my life and not feel like I have to take care of another kid. Because I do have a younger sister, and sometimes it feels like I'm getting dragged down. No offense, I still love her though. But I just wanted to know your opinion on leaving and still dealing with family matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Tatiana. With you being 17, I think, well, one, the fact that you're saying that, you already have these responsibilities with this younger sibling, and all of a sudden now there's this new baby, you're worried, your parents are busy. Here's the thing. You are 17. If there is a time in your life when you're 17, 18, you are your own person, but you're about to fully realize what that is, right? Obviously, I don't know if you said you're going into a job, or you're going to be, taking a year, you're going into college or whatever. If there is a time to be selfish, it is now. Because it's not down the road. I don't know if you want to have a family, and so it makes sense that you have to take care of a baby or whatever. This is your time to focus on you and not have other things and other people's decisions, especially huge decisions, tie you down. Obviously, there can be a family loyalty. People took care of you. I don't know your full background, but if there is a time to go, hey, I'm going out into the world, then and I'm not going to be held back by things. It's now, and you have to you have to do that jump. I granted, it was easier for me because I had a horrible home living situation, a horrible relationship with my mom, who I lived with at that point, and I got the fuck out of there as fast as possible. I will say that is one big thing. You can be selfish and you can be your own person. But also at the same time, you have to understand that if you're like living in their home, then slightly different rules. You have to, if you're getting out and you're on your own, then you're good. You don't get to kind of call the shots and have mommy and daddy pay for things. I think that's something that's key. But yeah, you can kind of be nervous about it, but if you focus on yourself and you have that plan, you don't owe anybody shit. I know that your parents. The only thing that matters now is you. This might be horrible, disrespectful advice. I might look back on this when I'm 50, however many years old, and my son, he's not calling me anymore. He's being selfish. But you're your own fucking person, and you don't deserve to be held back, and you shouldn't, because a lot of people are completely fine with playing the victim in their life, even when they have the tools to get out of that kind of victimhood. I think that's what I would leave it at. And I say that with the bare minimum information about your situation. But hopefully that kind of hits on something for you. And I think actually that is where we're going to go out, on something that is maybe inspirational and or breaking a family. I feel like that's really solid. Also, if you ended up liking this conversation with each other, this time without a guest, be sure to give us love. Subscribe if you're new here. Hit that like or whatever. This thing's everywhere. Just whatever, the stars, thumbs up, fucking, I don't know. If it looks like you can click it and it's a positive thing, do it. With that said, thank you for hanging out with me. I love you faces. Of course, we're trying to do these every single Wednesday. So yeah, come back then and maybe there will be something. Wait till the end of the day. Sometimes we're late. Actually, we've never been late. I'm very proud of us, Keith.